And speaking of Georgia, I mean, got to give Ole Miss their flowers. I mean, they did exactly what we had talked all year that nobody could do besides Bama in week 4 in Athens. Nobody could, people could beat up Georgia, but they couldn't put Georgia down. And Ole Miss did it. I mean, Ole Miss fought to the end. They put them down, even though the last once they had 1 second on the clock for 8 plays or whatever it was. But I mean, it honestly, it felt like I think their confidence is so high now because they beat the team that everybody was saying you can't kill. I think their confidence is through the roof, and I don't know if anybody can stop Ole Miss at this point. I mean, I know how good the line of scrimmage play is for Miami, O line and D line, but I think when you have a team that's as dedicated to winning to prove somebody wrong as Ole Miss is right now, I think that it's pretty hard to kind of root against them, but also rule them out.
Yeah, hey, Brant, just one other thing on that. You got two teams that kind of fall into that category because people have doubted Ole Miss all year, and with that, and with no Lane Kiffin, and then all the smart guys out there in the media, Miami shouldn't even be there. They shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be there. Well, they're about to be in a position to win the national
Yeah,
championship. But one thing Ole Miss is going to have to do, because I really think they could really get beat up at the line of scrimmage, they better go fast. They better go fast, 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 and just wear that defensive line out. Make them remember how when Bama beat Georgia in that NFC championship game, or NFC in the SEC championship game in what was it 22
23, 21 and
23.
23.
Yeah, well, then we lost to them in the Natty, but in that SEC championship game, we just started off throwing. We spread them out and just went fast up tempo. By halftime, Georgia's tongues were dragging around. They couldn't get in a stance, and I think that's exactly what Ole Miss is going to have to do to Ole Miss, because to Miami, because if they're just going to try to play straight up ball, Miami's just going to maul them at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into the second game, or the first game on New Year's Day, the Capital One Orange Bowl, and this was the first of two consecutive stinkers on TV. As Oregon just absolutely dominates Texas Tech 23-0. Producer, what you got on this one?
Yeah, this was kind of a snooze fest, and I hated it. I had picked Texas Tech to win this game, and boy, just another one I was wrong about. Just absolute no offense from them at all. Oregon had their way the entire game. I never thought Texas Tech had a chance from the time the game started to the time it ended. Oregon did what they wanted to do. They controlled the game, line of scrimmage. Again, Texas Tech had absolutely zero offense whatsoever. And people have been calling Oregon's defense sus for a while now. I didn't see any sus that day. But then again, it's Texas Tech. So I don't know. Like I said, when you go to Texas Tech, the first thing I think about when I say Texas Tech is defense. I've never really been great on their offense, but it's been manageable all year long. But that day, I saw absolute zero offense. Oregon did what they wanted to do. Oregon's moving on. Um, I just of all the games, this is probably the most. Well, there was that other game. Probably the most less interested. Most less interesting game of the week by far, I believe.
All right, Brant, what you got?
I feel like we kind of got proved right on one thing in this game and then proved wrong on another. Because I was one of those people that said Oregon's defense was very suspect. I just think, I mean, I know that JMU scored a couple of garbage time touchdowns and everything like that, but even when they scored, it just felt like Oregon wasn't trying on defense. And so I really felt like, as inconsistent as Texas Tech's offense is, I really felt like they could put what they needed to forward to, if not make it competitive, win the game. And I mean, Oregon proved me wrong. I mean, I've never known Oregon to be this massive defense sided team or anything like that. I think that Texas Tech came in, they had a plan, the plan didn't work. They said, "Oh shit, where do we go from here?" And nothing was working after that. I think that, and it's Dan Lanning's specialty, and it's improvising. That is just what Dan Lanning does. And I think that on the move, I think that if you go into a game plan I think the same thing about Indiana. Granted, I don't think anybody's going to beat Indiana, but I think if Indiana goes into that game and they have a plan and it doesn't work and they have to improvise, I mean, I think Oregon could beat them. Um, it's just something about Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks. They know how to adjust to everything. I wasn't mad, but I was upset at the game. I mean, it's just not it's one of those games that I was actually really excited for. for both sides of the ball, and I feel like I got nothing out of it. Granted, the next game, oh my god! But I don't know. I just felt like I didn't get what I was supposed to get out of it. I think Texas Tech is still a really good football team. They'll be right back here again next year. I don't know of anybody in the Big 12 that's going to really come out of nowhere to compete with them again, besides your BYU's or your possible. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not Utah either. Probably your possible Arizona State, whatever it could be. But yeah, so I was left disappointed, but great game by Oregon. Great job improvising, and I think they're going to give Indiana a run for their money.